Good morning everyone, myself Patel ma'am. Today I am going to teach you the subject accountancy. As we started with the chapter number 1 in the accountancy, which is introduction to partnership. In the last lecture already I have been teaching to you introduction, meaning, definition. Two definition was there according to Indian Partnership Act 1932 section 4, Professor Haney. Then we have seen into details about the features of the partnership firm. Now further we are going to see the next part in the topic introduction to partnership, which is the partnership deed. The name itself dignifies that you know more about the partnership. Now I'll teach you more about the deed. Deed. D-E-E-D. Deed means what? When your deed means it's terms, regulations, rules which is to be decided between the partner. All it is put in that. So first we will know about the partnership deed. When a written document is signed, duly signed by the partners, in which the terms and conditions are there, that is said as a partnership deed. So document containing rules and regulations of the partnership which is there among the partner is called as a partnership deed. Partnership deed is that only. As we have seen that agreement which is done between the partner, it may be oral also, it may be written. Oral agreement does not have any proof because here no signature is there between the partner, terms, conditions are not applied. But when a deed is signed, when a written document containing terms, conditions between the partner is there, that is said as a partnership deed. Partnership deed plays a very important role over here because further if any dispute occur, that dispute which you want the dispute should not be there, you want dispute should be avoided, no misunderstanding should be there related to the profits of the business, etc., etc. When you want this, at that time, first and very important thing is what? That you have to sign the partnership deed. It is always been concerned only when you have a mutual agreement, when you have a document which is signed between the partners. So every time partnership deed is for containing the terms and conditions. Partnership deed is a written agreement which has been made between the partners, duly signed by the partners. That is a proof as the existence of the partnership you may get from it. That was the meaning of the partnership deed. It is not compulsory that you may have a written agreement because it is optional. Whether you whether you have a oral agreement or you have a written agreement. But written agreement is obviously a very important point because when you have a written agreement, at that time you come to know more the things about it, and future if any dispute occur in the course of law, it will be useful as a proof, as a evidence, you will come to know about it. So that was all about the partnership deed, which I said you was the meaning of the partnership deed. Then the next point which we will see into detail is the contents of the partnership deed. What content? Content means what? Content means what is there inside in the partnership deed. What is there inside? As partners have formed the partnership, at that time everything related to the partners only. How many partners it is there? Minimum to maximum 50% can be conduct a partnership. So here in this point you will come to know the content, what is there in the partnership deed actually. So what is there in the partnership deed? Number one, the name, address of the business, where the main office is there, where the branch offices are there. Then you will come to know about the name, addresses of the partners, where they live exactly, name, address. Now I said you of the register office, of the business, branch office, main office, head office, everything detailed related to the partner. Then when how much amount of capital is contributed by each partner into the partnership firm, then the rights, duties, liabilities of each partner is there over here. Then how much capital contributed, as I said you. Then the ratio of sharing profits and losses into the business, that is there into the deed. Then if any dispute occurs into the business, how the disputes can be settled. So the methods of settlements of disputes is also So that's why I said you why the deed should be signed between the partner, because everything is there in the deed. When deed is signed, at that time future no any conflict or no any dispute can be there. Then next, provisions relating to the admission, retirement, death. Yes, of course. When every time partnership is formed, two partner form a partnership. If any formation is there, if one of the partner retires, one of the partner dies, new partner enter, everything provisions related to admission, retirement, death is there in that. Then salary, commission payable to the partner. Salary, commission, if it is there, that is payable to the partner, that is there inside in that. So every contents contain each and everything which is mutual being agreed between the partner. Here, over here in the content, everything related to the partner, related to the partnership, ratio, profit sharing, amount contribution, salary, commission, if payable to partner, if any dispute occur, how this dispute can be settled, like these things are said as a contents of the partnership. So you come to know about that. Content means the detail which is written into the partnership, deed. Got it? That was the partnership deed, meaning and content. Next point that we will see is the importance of the partnership deed. Importance of the partnership deed. Now you know very well, as I said you, and we have seen about the partnership deed. Importance of the partnership deed. Yes, of course, partnership deed is very important to me. First of all, why it is important? Because it treats as evidence in the court of law. And if you want to know if a problem occur into the business and you want to know more about the detail about that problem, now for the future references, if you want, for that also it is useful. So when you want to present your partnership in the court of law need evidence, law need proof, and for that always it is used to sign a partnership deed. So it is very important to have a partnership deed, because when you have a partnership deed, always it treat as evidence, it treat as a proof in front of the court. Then if a partner has any disputes, and then immediately you will relate to the deed. Why? Because in the deed duly signed of all the partners are there with the concern. That means what? Each and every partner has concern with each other, and they have come together with a mutual understanding. They have all relate each and every terms and conditions of the partnership firm. So it has always been useful that a partner should always have a deed, which is a written agreement in which the terms and conditions are there. So it is very important to have a partnership deed. It serves as a many benefits are there. It serves as evidence in the court of law. Then it's a proof. If any dispute occur, that can be solved. Disputes can be avoided. Conflict can be avoided just with the help of the partnership deed. So obviously it is very useful to have a partnership deed. Benefits are more. Benefits are more than non-benefits. Of course, yes. More and more benefits are there when a partnership deed is signed. That was about the partnership deed, meaning. Then we see the contents of the partnership deed. Now I said you in short about the importance of the partnership deed. Then next one is very, very, very important, which is the provisions of 1932 Act. The very, very important point after you come to know about the deed is the provisions which is there about the Indian Partnership Act 1932. Yes, of course, obviously according to the Indian Partnership Act 1932, if you sign up a deed in that terms and condition is there. But if the deed is silent, at that time these provisions have to be followed compulsorily according to the Act itself. Again, I repeat my statement that when everything is there, when your deed is signed, at that time no issue is there. But when where deed is not there, deed is silent, at that time these provisions of Indian Partnership Act 1932, Section 12 and 17 has to be followed compulsorily as a form of terms and conditions to the partner. In that, the first point which we will see is the distribution of profit. The first point which we will see now is the distribution of profit. Yes, of course, when the deed is there, at that time the deed, always it is said, when the deed is there, at that time according to the deed you see the capital and you see the ratio about that. But when the deed is not there, at that time you have to share, the partners have to share equally. So if the deed is silent, then always it is said to agree as equally only. How much amount of capital you put in that as a partner, as one partner is putting more, another partner is putting less. But then too, if nothing is written in the deed related to the distribution of profit, at that time you have to share, the partners have to share equally. Point number 1, distribution of profit. Point number 2 is interest on drawings. Point number 2 is interest on drawings. So, if the date of drawings is not given, then average of 6-month interest is always charged on drawings. Yes, of course, the date of drawing, if it is not given, yes, of course, drawings date sometimes it is provided, but if it is not provided in the deed, if the deed is silent about that, then at the average of 6 months, always you have to take as a for interest on drawing. That means when you remove drawings and on that when the drawings withdrawal is there, and on that when you want to remove interest, at that time an average of 6 months if it is provided, if the date of withdrawals are not given in the deed. If the deed is silent about the date of withdrawal, at that time average of 6 months we have to buy. That is point number 2, interest on drawings. Number 3 is interest on capital. Number 3 is interest on capital. If the deed is silent about interest on capital, then interest is not allowed. Interest is not allowed only when the deed is silent. That means if in the deed, if nothing is written about the interest on capital, at that time it is not allowed only. In the drawing, what was there? In the interest on drawing, if the date of withdrawal is not given, you have to charge average for 6 months. But that is not there for the interest on capital. If in the deed it is not given, you have to not take anything, then it is not allowed only. That is point number 3, interest on capital. Point number 4 is interest on partner's loan. Point number 4 is say interest on partner's loan. Okay, so interest on partner's loan. If partners provides additional amount to the business as a loan, carefully listen. If partners provide additional capital, additional amount to the business as a loan, but rate of interest it is not given, then the 6% is rate of interest is allowed. Again, I repeat that if the partner is giving some of the amount to the business as a loan, at that time, the rate of interest, if it is not given, then 6% interest is always been allowed over there. So, when always the partners provide some additional amount to the business, sometimes the partner provides some of the another additional amount to the business as a loan, and at that time your rate of interest is not given only, at that time 6% interest is you have to charge as an interest on partner's loan. 6% interest. Remember 6 year also 6 month was there, here also 6%, and here it is not there only, the deed is silent. Then the next point number 5 is salary commission to partners. Okay. The next point number 5 is salary/commission to partner. Salary or commission to partner. no salary or commission or allowances or revenue ratio is given to any extra work done for the firm. That means if any partner does some extra work, no salary, no commission is given to them. If provisions is made in the deed, then partners are entitled as per the example. That means if in the agreement, if it is written that is partners, if done like this, give some extra commission, if any of the partner does some extra work, then give some of the another salary, more remuneration, more allowances. But here, if in the deed, if it is not given anything, if the deed is silent about that, not a single penny is given to any partner related to salary, commission, allowances, etc. Okay, that was a point number 5, salary of the commission or commission to partner. Point number 6 is admission of a new partner. Point number 6 is admission of a new partner. Yes, of course, 2 partners are not enough. Obviously, they want a new partner. When the new partner comes, alone it doesn't come. He bring capital, he bring goodwill. Yes, of course. So, but when the new partners can be allowed, no outside person can be entitled into the firm without the consent of the other partner. That means when suppose 2 partners are there and third partner wants to come inside. At that time, if these two partners when decide, yeah, third person can come into the firm. At that time, only admission of a new partner can be there. That means the new admission cannot be there with the consent of the other partner. If the other partner agree, yeah, this person can enter into the firm by bringing the capital, by bringing the asset, etc., etc. At that time only it can be there. So that was the admission of a new partner with the consent can come into the firm. If the other partner says yes, then only it can come. If one partner says yes, another partner says no, then at that time it can come. No, it cannot come. Both the partners should have mutual understanding, mutual consent should be there, and then only they can bring the third person as admission of a new partner. That was the 6 provisions over here put forth by Indian Partnership Act 1930, so Section 12 and Section 17. Yes, of course, if the deed everything terms and conditions are written, but if the deed is silent, these provisions have to be followed up compulsorily according to Section 12 and 17. That was the provisions of Indian Partnership Act 1932. After the provisions, the next important point of this chapter is the methods of capital account. Okay, the next point over here is the methods of capital account. First we will see about the capital. Capital means what? Capital means amount worked by the partner in the form of cash or in the form of kind, which is asset. What by the partner into the business is the capital of the business. So every time partners always maintain the account, capital account. So various methods are applied of the capital account. 2 types of the method is there. The first is the fixed and the second is fluctuating. So methods of capital account is divided into 2 parts. First it is said as fixed capital method and second is said as fluctuating capital method. Okay, so as I said here about the capital amount borrowed by the proprietor in the form of a cash or a kind into the business is said as a capital of that business brought by the partner. So if the partner maintain the account methods, when you follow up this, at that time partners maintain the various methods. So broadly it is classified. The 2 methods maintained by the partner, methods of capital account is broadly classified into 2 types. The first is fixed capital method and the second is fluctuating capital method. Fixed capital method, you have to open 2 accounts over here. The first is we will see about the fixed capital method. When a fixed capital method is followed, see any two types it is there. Methods of capital account is broadly classified into two types. The first is fixed capital method, the second is fluctuating capital method. In the fixed capital, the name itself says the capital is fixed over here. So let's see one by one into detail. Capital remain the same at the end of the financial year in the fixed capital method. No addition, no subtraction from capital is made during the year. So when the capital is fixed, constant, no addition, no subtraction over here is there from capital during the year, that is said as fixed capital method. In the fixed capital method, two types of accounts are maintained: partners capital account and partners current account. Okay, so over here partners capital account and partners current account. In fluctuating capital method, only one it is made, that is partners capital account. Always remember over here this part I will teach you. Here the capital is always constant, no addition, no subtraction is made, and over here by the name itself you can understand it's fluctuating, it changes year by year. Here only two account is maintained, partners capital account and partners current account, and here is only one account which is a combination of two accounts which is a partners capital account. It's very easy. Over here two account is maintained. In the first account, partners capital account, when additional capital is bought introduced by the partner, cash oblique bank account debit to partners capital. If any asset is bought, if capital is bought by the partner in the form of asset account debit to partners capital. Only this two is over here. And in the partners current, you will come to know partners always open the new account, that is partners current account, and all related to the capital adjustments are solved through the partners current account. Example: drawing, interest on drawing, interest on capital, salary, commission, then sharing of profits and losses, brokerage, etc. All is related to the partners current account. Always remember, here only capital is bought in the form of a capital or in the form of an asset. So additional capital when it is introduced, cash account to partners capital. If asset is introduced, asset account debit to partners capital. And in partners current, which I discussed you now, only drawings, interest on drawing, interest on capital, salary, commission, brokerage, sharing of profits and losses is bought in the partners current account. Okay, so that was about the fixed capital. Here the name itself, the capital is constant every year, no addition, no subtraction. By the name itself, it's fluctuating, that means it changes year by year. Here two account is maintained, partners capital, partners current. And when a partner adopt fluctuating capital, at that time it only maintain partners capital account. So in this method, the balances changes every year. This method is not open. In this method, partners current account is not open. All adjustment is bought in partners capital account only. That means the combination of these two is bought over here. Here current account is not open. Only partners capital account is open when the partners all follow the fluctuating capital method. Here what is there? Here initial. What is there in the account? Partners capital. Number one, initial that is opening balance of capital. If additional capital is bought by the partner in the form of a cash or in the form of a kind, you know very well, kind means asset. Then if salary, commission is payable to partner, drawings, interest on drawing payable, salary, commission, interest on capital, all these things, division of profits and losses, everything is they put up into the partners capital. So the combination of these two accounts is that is the partners capital account, which is always sometime being followed by the partner, which is rarely in the form. So here two types which all we have seen is the fixed capital, fluctuating capital. So one of these methods are always being followed by the partner, which is fixed capital, where the constant capital is there, fluctuating by the name itself, always it goes on changing. In fluctuating, only one it is there. So today we all have seen in the lecture, that is a partnership partnership deed. In partnership deed, we all have seen about the meaning, content, then we have seen the importance of the partnership deed. Then very important is the provisions of Indian Partnership Act of 1932 and the methods of capital account, which is divided into two parts, that is fixed capital and fluctuating capital